Hey guys, welcome to our channel Harshu Education, and today we are going to create a ping pong game. It'll look like this at the end of this video. So it'll work like we'll have two players, player 1 and player 2, and the ball will keep moving from here and there, and we'll have to hit the ball with our players. If you miss to hit, then your game will be over. So it's a simple game, and we'll learn how to make games with Unity using this game. So as you saw, our background was red, so this is our main camera. We'll select that and we'll change our background to red, so this might look better. This looks fine. And then we'll create our players. So our player was a square, so we'll create a square sprite. And then we had a ball, so we'll create a ball, a circle sprite, and let's just move it in our game, and then name it ball, and name this one as player. Okay, so now on ball we'll add a circle collider 2D. So why do we need that? Because we need to detect collision in our game whenever the ball is hitting our player or the sides, then we should be able to detect it. Similarly, we'll add this would be box collider, since it's a box, so it will be box collider, not this box collider. We should be adding box collider 2D because it's a 2D game. Okay, and then on these two players and balls we'll also add rigid body 2D. So this will make sure that we have physics on our players, but we do not want our player to go off the screen, so we will make our gravity scale to 0 so that it doesn't go below the screen. And then we will freeze our ball, not here, over here. We'll freeze our ball at z-axis, and we'll freeze our player on x and zx because we want our player to move up and down only. And now let's scale our player. So we'll make the y-x bigger. It's my player. I was making changes on the main camera, so make sure you are selecting player and then change the y-axis of the player. So this much looks fine. Yeah, and then and now let's add tags as well. So we'll add tag over here. These tags we add so that when we are calling these player from our games, we can recognize it like this. Why it is not adding? PLA. Oh, I think we already have player tag. Yeah, and then we'll create a tag for ball. Let's add ball. Okay, and now select the ball and select tag ball. You'll see when we're writing script, you'll see why it is important. And now let's organize our game. We'll create a folder for sprites and put these sprites into this, and then we'll create one more folder called prefabs. So what is prefab? Prefabs, it's like reusable game objects. So these so I need two players, not just one player. So instead of creating one more player, we will create prefabs of these. So prefabs is like I can reuse these again and again. So I can delete this from here and move our ball and player in our game again. So now we have all the functionality, all the changes we made in our ball and player, and then I can just add one more prefab. So that would be my player 1. Oh, sorry, player 1, and then this would be my player 2. Okay, and now let's just move it accordingly. So I want my player 1 over here, and I want my player 2 over here. Okay, cool. This looks good. This looks the width look even more, which I don't like the width of this. So let's just make it, scale it to 0.73. Yeah, this looks fine. So since I made this change on prefab, I don't have to make change in player 1 and player 2 separately. It will be automatically applied on player 1 and player 2. So that is the benefit of prefab. You can make changes in prefab and it will automatically be applied on the objects which you have in your game, right? So again, I also want to have walls like top wall and bottom wall, so that when our ball is hitting the top and bottom wall, we will like bounce back our ball, right? So let's not create here, let's create, oh no, we have sprites, so let's take this sprite, square sprite, and this would be our wall. And for this I will have X to be very long, so like 15 should be good, and then this would be like 0.1. And then on this also we need a box collider 2D, so that when our ball is hitting this wall, it will be collided, it won't, like, it will be bounced back. So let's make a prefab of this as well, so that we can reuse it. And then create one more wall, and this wall I'll keep it at the bottom. So yeah, looks good. So now that we have all the design ready, we can go ahead and create our scripts. So let's create one more folder and name it scripts, and we'll make two scripts. One would be for ball, C# script ball, and one would be for our player. Yeah, let's name it player. Okay. So let's attach these scripts to our player and ball. So select player 1, player 2, and we'll just drag our script, and then similarly for ball we'll drag our ball script. Okay, so before writing the scripts, for player to move up and down we need inputs. So for left player we'll use W and S in our keyboard, and for right player we'll use up and down. So let's set this up. In edit you have project settings, in inputs we have axis. So these are all inputs, like we can use horizontal, vertical. So we already have vertical and horizontal, but we don't want that, we want up and down. So so we don't need all the 18 axes for input, we just need 2. So let's take 2, and I'll just make it as for player 1. So for player 1, which is our left player, we'll do S and W. So that will be negative value S. So when we click on S, our player will move down, and when we click on W, our player will move up. So this is for player 1. Now let's do for player 2, and we'll keep it down and up, same. Let's remove the alternative keys, and that is it. So we will be using these keys to move our players when we are when on keyboard, when we are using these keys, our player will move. So for that, let's write script. So this is our player script. So in this script we need player speed first of all. So let's make a public float speed variable. So when we make it float, it will be available in our Unity as well. So if we click on player script, it'll be available over here. It should come over here. Oh, we haven't saved it here, so let's save it over there, and it should come in any second. Yeah, speed. So I can just increase and decrease speed from right here. If we make it public, if we make it private, then it won't be appearing over there. Another way to do it is we can just make it private and then write serialized field over here, serialized field. And then also, even though it is private, it will be available over the speed variable will be available in Unity interface as well for us to edit it from there itself. Now the next thing over here we need is rigid body. So let's create rigid body. This would be 2D, rigid body 2D. Let's name it RB, and we will make this also private and serialized field, so that it is available and we can assign our rigid body, player rigid body from there itself. And now we also need one more keyword, that is let's make it public itself, and that would be boolean keyword is player 1, right? So this would tell us that whether our player is first player or second player. So in our editor over here in Unity, we'll have all these fields now. So we can set our speed to let's say 10, and rigid body, let's move our rigid body in this, and since this is our player 1, we'll just enable it. For player 2, we shouldn't be enabling it. And then let's move player 2 rigid body over here and make the speed to 10. And now we don't need start function. In the update function, we'll get so if we'll just write if is player 1, then we'll say uh, then we'll get input for player 1. So that would be float move, and let's get input for player 1. So that would be input dot get access, and then let's enter the name we set for our player 1 input. And once we have this, we can so let's keep it over here. Let's keep this variable out of this so that we can access it outside of our if else condition. Else take the input from player 2. Yeah, and then we can say rb dot velocity equals to our new vector 2. So rb dot velocity dot x, so that this would be same. And then for vector the second y-axis, we'll say move into speed, so in whatever direction. So this move will give us values in direction, so 0, -1 or 1. If it is going -1, like it's going down, or it is going up. So based on that value, we'll just multiply it with speed and we'll get our new velocity. So now our player should be able to move. So let's play. So if we hit, so our player is moving. Yes, now we can go ahead and write script for our ball. So before we write script for our ball to be bouncy, we should add a material as well to our ball. That would be bounce material. So for that, physics material 2D will create, and let's name it POUNCE, bounce. And for this, friction would be 0 and it would be bounce. Bounce would be 1, and select our ball and move this to rigid body material. Yeah, so now the bounce would be smooth. We'll get, whenever this ball will hit ground or this over here, it will bounce back. So let's not leave it over there. Create a folder material and move this bounce material over here. Now let's go to scripts folder and write our ball script. So for our ball script, we again need speed variable. So let's create a public float speed and give it a speed of 3f. And then we also need a rigid body to make sure that our ball is moving. Let's name it RB. Okay, and then we want to uh, initialize ball velocity. So we want to initialize our ball velocity. So let's create a function for that, and we will call this function from our start function. And then in this function we'll create random velocity. Like initially we want our ball to randomly go either left or right side, so we will do it by creating random x position and y. So let's do it random dot range, not this, sorry, NGE range, and this would be between 0 to 2. And if this is equals to 0, then we'll give -1, otherwise 1, our x value. Similarly we'll do for y value, it'll be same. And then we can give velocity to our rigid body. Velocity equals to RB, so new vector to this would be x into speed, and then second value would be y into speed. So this should get us started with ball. So if we run, come on, oh, we haven't given rigid body, so rigid body is none, so you have to initialize the rigid body from here. So let's initialize it over here. If we don't give rigid body, so rigid body is the one who is moving everything around in our application. So if we don't give rigid body, then it will not move. So now that we have rigid body, it should move. Okay, so you can see our ball moving. Oops. Okay, so we have to set our players Z. So if you see over here, we have constants. So let's set constants for x and z position, and y would be free, so that uh, our players only go up and down and it doesn't get hit by the ball. So because we have collision detection, as soon as the collision is occurring, the ball is being forced back due to the rigid body, because we have attached physics to our players. So this should fix. And also let's freeze z position for our ball as well. So now if we play, yes, and if it goes off the screen, then we should say that game is over. So instead of game is over, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to detect if the ball is off the screen, then we'll restart the game. So to do that, we should have the initial position. So let's save our initial position of the ball. So start position in this variable. So in start position we'll keep transform dot position. So now in our update function we'll get our ball's position in our camera. So in our camera area, which is visible to our user, who's playing the game, we will check if our ball is available in this area. If it is available, then all is good. If it is off the screen, it means your game is over and we should restart the game. So that is what we are going to do. So to do so, we'll first get our view position for our ball. So to do that, let's call this function Unity Engine camera dot main dot word to screen point, and then in this we'll pass transform dot position. So this will give us the viewpoint, like this area. This will give us this area, and whether this ball is available in this area or not. To do that, to check that, we'll write an if statement. In this, we'll check if view position is less than or equals to not less than, let's do greater than or equals to 0, and view position view position dot x is greater than or equal to 0, and view position dot x is less than or equals to 1. Same thing we'll do for y position. So I'll just copy paste. Instead of x, just say y. And for z, we'll just check view position dot z is greater than 0 or not. So if it is in this area bound, then our is, so we'll create a bool variable is visible, and we'll set this is visible to true. It means that our ball is visible. Else we'll set it to false. So if our is visible is false, it means we have lost. This is visible, not add the read, I want to add this exclamatory so that we know that it is false. Then we'll come in this loop, and then first I want to debug log that you lose, and we will set our ball's position to starting position. Start position, and then we'll call the initialize ball velocity. So this will get our game restarted. So if we run, oh, okay, it seems like something is wrong. So I think it's not word to screen point, it is word to viewport point, and then in this we'll give transform dot position, then it should work. Let's see. Yes. So let's just go off the screen, and it started again. Whoa, okay. So this is our game, it's ready, and we have built this game. Thank you so much for watching, and please do subscribe to our channel. Thank you, bye-bye. बन गया